Hello everyone. So I've decided that for now I am going to keep the flashcard program inside form 1. We might refactor that later, but I think that the loop being here is going to work just fine. One thing that I want to do, let's do Shift F7 to bring up the designer. Let's give a little bit of space here because I do want to add some labels. So we'll put label here, label here. And we're going to have the name of label display 1. This was on label display 2, so we'll correct that. I'm going to leave the text as label 1 for now. We're going to programmatically change it. So display 1 is the top one. And we're also going to need another button here that we will add. And we'll put it right below here. This button will be btn play. And we're going to have this say and play audio. And finally, we're going to need another button for this box. So you'll line up there. And this is going to be button submit and submit. So there we go. Now, what we will do is we will programmatically display and hide these things depending on the context of what's needed. We can display either the one word above here or both words. So for example, I'm thinking we'll start with the regular one, just having only the target word displaying in the top box. Then we hit next, which I'm going to actually change the text to reveal or to show, probably show because show is shorter. And once we click show, it will make this visible and it will show the translation. And then we hit next and this becomes invisible again, and so on. That way we can actually see the two side by side. But more importantly, when it comes time to needing to respond, we can come up here and we can set this box to show the lexicon or the target language. And then the person will have to type in this box here the correct result and hit submit. So that's what this is going to be for, is to control that type of thing. With that in mind, we can go ahead and just save the changes we made on this. Let's go back into Form 1 down here. And one of the first things that we're going to need to do is actually just hide everything. Let's create a quick private void hide all. It doesn't need to take anything in. And what this will do is we will take the components. We're going to want to make all the text boxes read only, and we're going to want to make them not visible. So RTB display 1 dot visible is going to be set to false. RTB display 2 visible is also going to be set to false. Then we're going to need the button. So we'll do button next visible is set to false. Button play visible is also going to be set to false. And then of course button submit visible is going to be false. So we will start off with all of this, and let's also add in RTB display 1 read only is true, and RTB display 2 read only is also true. That way, if it does show for any reason, then we can't actually type in. So I'll split these out for a quick moment. We will call this the display boxes, and down here we will say buttons. And then we have a way here so that as we're going through our loop now, we'll be able to always hide that. So up here where we have our user entered, before we do the return, I'm just going to say hide all. So we're going to call it that. And now if we run it, then when we come into the program, move this over, we select the user, then you can see nothing shows there except the labels. So this is part of why it's a good thing to test your programs, because in addition to the buttons, let's include the labels. So label display 1 visible is going to be false, and label display 2 visible is going to be false. So save that again. Let's run. Make sure that this is looking like we want it to. Oh, I know. So just going in to manage the lexicon. So right now we just have the current user text show up. So that's pretty much what we have expected. So we can come back up to here after we hide all, and then we need to start thinking of what would be next on this. And obviously we have our template here for what would be coming up. We do need to load all of this stuff temporarily. So let me actually just take off the return really quick, put this down here, and do a return before we go to the flashcard program itself. And we will note that this is temporary. Okay. Because we obviously will need to actually look up what the user wants to do this. But for now, we'll load in the lexicon. And I actually want, instead of all words, I'm going to change this to target words. So again, for now, we'll only deal with this index here. We're gonna work on that and update that later. But for now, we've got all target words, and of course, renaming that, we'll have to come up here and change this as well, all target words, because that's what we're actually going to be shooting for. And here we go, target words. Let's see if there's any other spot. Looks like we do have some errors, so let me see what the other errors are. And this is in the flashcard program. Well, we're not even going to be looking at this bit yet, so let's go ahead and just comment out all of this, because we're going to need to get rid of this anyway. But this will give us some defaults that we can go in and check now without having to worry about how we're going to create the DEX and how we're going to link that back to the user. So we'll keep this part the same. And in fact, that means that since we've commented out this, we can actually go ahead and go into the flashcard program now. So when we come in here, we need to start thinking about how we're going to be doing the states that we will go through. So let's create a variable. It's going to be an integer and it'll be states, and let's make it 0 to start with. And the reason why we have to come up with different states is because depending on the state we're using, we're going to have different results. Now, some of this we're going to be able to reuse. So let me go ahead and do this. We'll copy this bit, put that in here. I do actually like the idea of clearing out this as well. So let's come down here and do that here as well. Display one text is going to be nothing. We don't need to actually do anything besides this, display two text, to set the text to nothing. Now what we actually want to do though is we want to have the string of chosen word string, and that's going to be what we actually look up in this loop. So we're just going to say, so let's just set this to nothing for now. We need a semicolon, and then string will do chosen target string equals this as well. And then we can actually come down here and we can use this for loop again to come up with this. But instead of going into the display text, then we can actually change this to chosen word string. And then this, of course, would be target word string. And it chosen target string. So save that. And then, of course, we have to update this, all target words, and all target words here, and of course all target words here. So this is kind of the overhead. So we actually ended up using most of this. We only had to tweak a little bit. But now, why did I create this states variable? Well, we're going to pick a different version of what we're going to do based on the state that we're choosing to input in here. So pick the type of flashcard program to present. So we do a switch, and it's going to be on states, case 0, and I'll just put in a break right now to end it, and we're going to put a default also of breaking, so we can deal with that later. But I just wanted to set the switch up first. So now what we're going to do, if it's case 0, then this is the typical default run through. So what this will do is we show the target language. The user clicks the show button to see the translation. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So at this point, what we can do is RTB display one.text is going to be equal to, for now, we're just going to use the word, but eventually I will include adding in things like the language and stuff. So this is going to be the chosen target string. So we will put that in. Then what we're going to do is we are going to make RTB display one visible equal to true. Then what we're going to do is put RTB display 2 text as the chosen word string, but we are not going to make it visible yet. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to make the button for next visible equal to true, and we're going to change the text button next dot text is going to be this. It's going to change to now. We'll just say show for this, or let's put the and sign in. Since the and is on the submit, but submit is not visible, then that should not appear on there. So we'll save this. Now, for this to work correctly, I'm actually going to need to take the state and come up to the top here. This will be under program control. So states will equal 0 to start with. And why do we do that? Well, when we come down to the next button here, so what we're going to do to fix this is we're going to do another switch, and it's going to be based off states as well. Again, we have case 0, then we're going to break, and we're going to have default, and we're going to break out of that too. And these are just to set the case up, right? But we're actually going to just, if it's a default, we're going to put this in, and we're ultimately going to call flashcard program here as well on this. We may not call it for every single thing. It depends on what we're going to do. So I'll keep this in the case right now. But this means the button is currently called show. So what we'll need to do is, first of all, states is going to be changed to 1. Then we're going to take the button next text and change it to and next. So this way, if it comes through, then it will update this, and it will eventually come through with another case. So we'll update the states, and then we're going to call flashcard program again. So it'll come back up to here, come up to flashcard program, and we got a lot of white space up here. Let me just get rid of that. So it will come back up to here, and actually we don't want this to be chosen each time, right? So this actually, as I'm thinking about, this needs to be its own little method, and we're actually going to need to do a private void. Let's call it flashcard loop, like this, and come down here, and these we will need to come up here as well, add them here. They don't need to be static or anything. So what I'm actually thinking of doing, this will make it better for our program control. So I'll take this and actually add it to the beginning of the flashcard program. And what we're going to do after we're done with this, and we will reset the strings at this point. So then we can go into the flashcard loop at this point. And instead of coming to flashcard program, we're going to do flashcard loop. I will actually still keep this as flashcard program. So if it for some reason comes through with something that doesn't match the case, it will go back to the flashcard program. So here's the logic of why I'm doing that. When we get to flashcard program, it will create a new random card, but we want the loop to be able to update this. So let's see, chosen target ID. We're going to need to do chosen target and all of those up here too. So we will do int chosen target ID equals 0 and int chosen word ID also equal to 0. So we'll save that, since we're going to need to cross methods with this. So we'll come back down to here. And so after this, where we've controlled it, where we make this available, then we do case 1. So case 1 is we are revealing what happened. So what we're going to do here is RTB display to visible is going to be set to true. Then we've already updated. Let me see why this. Oh, we need the break. That's why it was giving me that underline. This is why usually when I'm setting them up, I start off with the break there. At this point, since we've already updated this, then we just need to come here and say when it's case 1, again, I'll have the break first this time around. Then what we're going to do with this is we're going to put the states back to 0. And then we're going to go to flashcard program, not the loop, the program. So this will reset what we had before. So when it comes in, because flashcard program now is set to hide everything, then it selects a new card, gets this ready, and then goes into the loop. Then we'll be okay with it. So just to show how this is working, let's see, I thought chosen target ID. Did I not? Oh, ID is capitalized, so that's why. Okay. So both on here. I made that typo before. I only realized it while editing. I was wondering why certain things didn't work, and it depends on, it is case sensitive, basically. Okay, so let's save this, and let's run this and see if this is giving us the same functionality as before. So I come in here, select user, and it doesn't like this. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to return this for now. Let's see if this allows it to bypass everything else. Come up here. Yeah, so we can come in here. I think we just need to maybe recreate our data here. So what I'm going to do, come in here, and we'll take all of this and just delete it. So we'll still have the user.data. I suspect as I've been testing things, it's just not hooked everything up correctly. So we'll select user, come in here, manager's lexicon. Oh yeah, gotta put some words in place here. Let me so let's go ahead and run this. Come here. I need to add some languages. Updated this, but I guess I didn't. So let's quickly do that. So if all languages not null, or let's say if it is null, then we will return immediately. We don't need that. So let me save this. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so let's create English. I know I tested this before, so but yeah, if all languages is null, return. Try it. I don't know where's return false. Come in here, English. all languages is null, then all languages is a new list of language. So we'll just throw this in because that's all it needs if it's null. Not sure, I must have deleted something on here because this was working earlier, but maybe I didn't fully test languages though. In any case, it's good to work through that. Let's see, English is now created. And we'll create Spanish as well. Save and close. Now let's come over to Manage Lexicon. Do English, we will do hello. And I need to set up where enter automatically adds. That will be for the future. And we will put test as well. We'll add that. Save that. Now we want our Spanish over here. And we'll do hola. Add that. Save that. And we'll do examine. Save that. Now, hello and hola get linked, and test and examine get linked. So now we can exit out of here. Close this, come back over, and let's get back to form 1. And we take out this return, and let's see if I just had some bad data saved, or if there's a bigger bug going on here. So select user, and it's almost working. It's not actually showing data, but if we hit show next, so it almost works. Okay, let's go ahead and message talks.show, and we're going to show the all target words count string. Let's see if anything even shows up. And it sounds like some kind of emergency going on over here. It's counting 2 items. Ooh, well, in part, the target words is up here. This should be the target string. And this chosen word string. Let's save that. Maybe I have it reversed, so it's pulling the wrong data, but no, this still shows nothing. Okay, well, this turned out to be a little bit easier than I thought it was. I needed to remove the prefixes that I had here, so it was already chosen word ID. We didn't need to declare it again. And also, these were declared as ints, and they needed to be long. So now that we've got that, I was like, the logic definitely should have worked, and now we can see that it does. So if we come in here, go to select user, then it comes up. We've got examine, and if we click show, we've got test. Then we can go to the next one, hola, show, we get hello. Do next, examine, test. Now examine repeats because there's only 2 items, we'll get some repeat. So there you go. This is working the way that we wanted it to for the first type of entry. But there's obviously more data that we need to pull in, and there's more stuff that we still need to do. Like, for example, I want to make sure that this is actually playing the audio. So we need to grab the audio while we're at it. And at this point here, when we are choosing this, where we got the string right here, then we can also pull in, we've got the whole word right here. So really what we want to do, instead of all of this, I want to actually pull in the whole word. So we've already got the ability to have these. Let's go ahead. We can actually put up a words, and we'll say chosen lexicon word, and that's going to be new words. And we'll do a words of chosen target word. That's going to be new words as well. So we'll create these. I actually want to, I think we might need IDs still. Yeah, we're going to need the IDs, but we can get rid of this completely. Save this. Now we come down here, We don't need this part anymore. But what we do want to do is we want to have chosen lexicon word is a new words. So we'll reset it at this point, and we're going to have chosen target word is also going to be a new words at this point. So we're going to refresh this value when it comes through the flashcard program. Now, when it comes in here, what we're going to do, we're actually going to add chosen lexicon word is going to be the entire thing. So I'm going to just take that off. It's going to be that bit, and then chosen target word is going to be this bit. Now we have the whole word. And so this display text down here is actually going to be the chosen target word dot word or phrase. Put an extra character there. This is going to be the chosen lexicon word or phrase. So now we have this in. But this also means that one of the things that we can do is when it first shows this, we can then do our fcp dot play audio file of chosen target word dot audio file. So we do that. We save this. Now, of course, we don't actually have any audio files saved yet, but those are easy enough to get. So we pull up Audacity. That's what I use for this, and I will actually move it to a different monitor really quick. We're going to go ahead and pull up a new browser as well for Google, and let's have our Spanish on here. And what we can put in here, we want hello and we want test. Those are the two that we've got. It's actually got prueba. Let me see here, because I think we can actually do this from the Spanish to English as well. So if we do hola, examine. And this is the case where we have different words that mean different things. So this is actually saying exam. It could be test, things like that. But now, let me bring this back over here. So my audio setup, my playback device going to these headphones, and the recording device is also on this with the loop back. That's key. So now what I can do is I can start recording this, move this off screen, and I can just hit play.
Hola, examen. Hola, examen.
I do it twice so that we can make sure we've got it, and then I can do this.
Hello, exam. Hello, exam.
All right, so now I can come back to here, do this, come back, and now we've got this audio here. So
Hola, examen. Hola, examen.
So we can see which one of those we like best. I'm going to use the first part here. And just copy this, and then we come up here, and we're going to do a new, and just paste it in. So now it's just this
Hola,
one.
hola.
Right? And so let me see here. We can just go ahead, export as WAV. And I'm going to just put this in my OBS folder for now. This is hola. So let's do that. Let me make sure that that was hola.
Hola.
Yes, okay. So now I'm going to pull this down, grab this, copy it, delete what's there, paste this in, make sure that I've copied it correctly.
Examen.
And then we're just going to export as WAV, and we're going to say examine. Now we'll do the same thing with the English. So let's see if the first one or the second one sounds better.
Hello, exam. Hello, exam.
And I actually prefer that, well, I'm going to do it this way because I want the hello comma test. So now I can come back to here, just undo that, hit this.
Hello, test.
Oh, I'm still in Spanish. Okay, we're going to put this.
Hello, test. Hello, test.
Just grab a couple of options so that we can test it. Hit this. I think that the second one is probably better. So copy this, grab my other window, paste that in, rewind.
Hello, test.
I didn't want to grab both, but let's go ahead and do this.
Hello.
And we can take off that little bit.
Hello.
And then we can just come in, export as wave, and it'll be hello. And then paste back in what we had here. Delete that.
Test.
Take off a little bit of that trailing.
Test.
And now we can export as wave, and it's going to be test. So once we've got those, we don't need to save this anymore. We don't need this anymore. Don't need to save. Close out of that. So now we're back into here. We just run our program again. And this time when we come up here, we select our user. We come over to database. We go to manage lexicon. Come up to here. We do our English. We click on hello. We double click hello to load this. We open our audio. Now all we need to do is come on over, use File Explorer for OBS, and I will just grab the audio for hello and test and drag both of them in. Now this is hello, so we'll select hello, make sure that's the one that's in here. We'll open that and test it.
Hello.
That's working, so we save. We go to test, double click on that to reopen this. Come to open audio, test.
Test.
That's perfect, we save that. Then we can come over to the Spanish side. I could probably do it on either side, but I'm going to do it this side just out of habit. And double click this. So this is examine. We open that. We now move the two files in. Click on examine. Hit OK.
Examine.
Save that. You go to Hola. Double click. Pull this over. Open audio. Hola is there.
Hola.
Save that. So now we've got the words in place, so we can close this out. Now, with this, when we reload it, now that we've got the play in, it should actually play the word as it loads. So let's see what happens. Come back into here, select my name.
Test.
And you can see test is now played. And we show examine. The only problem is, as you can tell, it's showing the wrong one. So we come down to where we have our, so we come down here, and what we've got here is, I guess, the chosen lexicon word and the target word are mixed up. So this would be the chosen target word, and this would be the chosen lexicon word, which makes sense because we're searching lexicon words here and here. So it should be the lexicon word. Target word should be on here. So save that. Now we run it again. Move this over, select user.
Examine.
And you can see we now have examine. So now we can show.
Hola.
Hola. Hello.
Hola. Hola.
And we'll work eventually on making sure that that doesn't repeat every single time. But now, what happens if we want to just have it play the audio and not put out the, it's always fun trying to find where everything is at. So what happens if we want it to just play the audio? So that we can say is case 2. And of course, we'll add our break in immediately. And for this, what we're going to do is, of course, we'll display one with the we won't display anything, actually. Display one text will be the chosen lexicon word, but we're not going to make it visible. We're just preloading it. And of course, this is going to be the word or phrase, right? So we're just going to make it visible. Now what we can do is we can do the fcp.play audio file of chosen target word dot audio file, like so. And actually, what I think that I might want to do is we'll put both of them in as I'm thinking about it. So we'll use the text box for both. So we'll do chosen target word plus, we'll do like a space and a greater than sign plus this. But chosen target word, I forgot to add dot word or phrase. So we'll add that in, save this. Then we're also going to want case 3, which is what happens after they click. So don't forget, we need to change the button next visible is going to be true, and the button next text is going to say and show. So we'll do that. When it comes through, then what we're going to do is RTB display one dot visible is true. And we don't need to worry about number 2 at all. So we save this. We put in our break so it likes the case. And then we come down to here. And what we'll do is we'll add in case 2, break, and case 3 with the break. So the case 2, we're going to once again say state equals 3. And this is going to be we'll go to the button next dot text equals quote and next. So we'll update that. And then flashcard loop. As you can see, this is matching this. So we'll probably make some methods that will do most of this heavy lifting. But for now, we'll just put it in like this. And at this point, we're going to use states is equal to 2 again. And we go back to flashcard program to reset. So we'll save that. Now we can come back up to where we start our states up here. And if we change this to 2 to start with, we get this behavior. So come in.
Examen.
Examine. And you're like, examine, test, right?
Examen.
Test.
Examen. Examen.
And we need more.
Examen.
So it doesn't repeat
Hola.
that time. There we go. Hola. I was like getting worried there.
Hola.
But you can see when you only have 2 variables, random coin toss, you get several in a row. So don't freak out if that happens. This will work better the more items that we put in. So because this is already pretty long, I'm going to end that here for now. We're going to add in more stuff later though. There's different things that we can progress with. Like the next one that I want to do is present the word, even present the audio, and then have you type the translation. We can have a where you type the word itself so you learn how to spell within the language. And we'll work on that in our next lesson.